Welcome, everybody, to the last week of Formula G. We are in the United States, and I am Zotomo, and I'm joined as always by Calamity. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, my home, well, my ex-home country, so to speak, where I'm from, but I no longer live there. As big as Europe is, not quite as big as last week in Russia, but it should definitely prove to be a very interesting map to compete on. Isn't that right?
Yeah, probably a few more signs than in Russia, though a
Yeah.
few less than in Europe, probably depending on the country. Um, but yeah, as I always say, 5 minutes. The US is again a country where you should have more than enough time to find everything you're looking for. Apart from like a few places in the country, like Nevada can be difficult if you're on a
Mm.
long straight road. But apart from that, usually you'll find everything.
Yeah, the challenge is often finding the information. It's not, pinpointing the information, to put
Mm,
it that way. You could just be on a barren stretch of road that has nothing for a kilometer or two. It's just lots of clicking. But
yeah.
yeah, we want to thank the organizers, Ben, for picking a map with no blurry locations, at least at the start. That's a big challenge for the US, is just horrible cameras, but it shouldn't be too much of a factor here for our drivers today. So, okay, without further ado, then let's jump right in. Our first racer is closed 24/7. And right off the bat on a bridge, a great pinpointing location.
Mm. Always helps, especially when it's a small bridge that just goes over one road. In this case, even going over a small road helps you out with pinpointing even more because sometimes you can't really tell what is a bridge and what isn't just looking at the map. But in this case, you've got the road to pinpoint to help you with that.
Yeah, and US Interstate 89, right there near the spawn point, means he will jump quickly to the map to just try to find that. And luckily, the US interstate system, at least, is fairly decently organized. State highways are a little bit more messy, but the national road system is well numbered, and he'll find that up there. Well, he's in New York right now, but I think the road's a little bit further north. There we go.
Yeah, a bit further to the east as well.
Mm-hmm. Go. And now he'll be looking for nearby towns. Those mile markers are nice, but not really helpful.
Mm. Yeah, the 89 as well is also quite nice because for an interstate it's relatively small. So, you don't have to worry about that going on for 5,000 kilometers and you having to find some small town alongside it.
Yeah, so single digits or whatever are usually, or of the, that's not the right way to say it. Of fives and evens tend to be very nicely laid out, but like an 89 is going to be a connecting highway between two major ones, so it will be shorter than the really long ones that run the whole length of the country. So this one pretty much only in two states. So
Yep, Vermont and New Hampshire.
yeah, so I think he's already looking at. I mean, I'm sure he's going to be able to pinpoint with only 2 minutes gone here, but yep, and there we go. There's a state highway to mark and an exit.
And he found that one remarkably quick.
Yeah,
It was pretty much where he had his pin down already, I think.
yeah, and like as you said, the road being very short. You're going to be in the general area to begin with, so he just has to backtrack from that exit point and try to figure out his starting location. He looks like he's looking for that bridge.
Mm.
Huh?
He'll probably go back to the start relatively soon just to remind himself of what the road direction exactly was. Or maybe he's not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just going to place it there anyway. I think that's the right spot.
Yeah, it's a good guess. I don't think he knows what the road name is right below him, but that seems to fit the image. A split highway there, so you can see the other direction just south of him. That means he's on the northernmost road.
He might go to the east a bit now to check that there is that curve that he's seeing on the map.
And as always, a brief reminder, there is bonus points for getting a perfect score with the fastest time. So these drivers will be going as fast as they can, but they try to be as accurate as possible as well. So a few extra seconds just to guarantee his location is definitely worth it if he can keep himself in that 25K race.
Generally more worth it to go for the perfect score if you're not completely sure that that's the right spot.
Yeah, because also if everybody's getting 25Ks, the distance separates the actual standings in the table for the week. So being as accurate as possible is definitely worth a lot more points than just a few bonus points for time.
He's definitely trying to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah, he really is. I think a lot of drivers are expecting this race to be more competitive. The US is fairly well labeled, can be easy to find, and so these points are going to be very easy to come by rather than compared to Russia. So he knows a meter or two could separate him between first and fourth or fifth place. So he's going to use almost all of his time.
But not all of it.
7 seconds only, but it will get him that perfect score, an ace for the round, only 5 meters off. He appears to be just about as far away as you are, Calamity, maybe a meter closer.
Yep, exact same, 5 meters for both of us.
Very well, nicely done. For that in first round, we can see lots of people getting that 5K there. Our other racers today are closed, of course. M the Baseman, M Wickholm, you Calamity, and Mr. Blue. We can see how you did right here. Another ace for you as well. How did the other drivers do?
Yeah, M the Baseman also got a perfect score, but used up the full 5 minutes. Just to mention here, I used 2 minutes and 6 seconds. M Wickholm, 4,835 points. He was a couple kilometers over to the west on a different stretch of road that admittedly looks pretty similar. And Mr. Blue, quite some distance off to the northwest, even further than M Wickholm, and getting 4,273 points.
A very rough start for Mr. Blue there. Not what he wanted if he's going to give a close or a challenge run in the last week. Well, then let's jump to M the Baseman next in his round and see how he does. See if he can continue his perfect score. And, ooh, this looks like a fun location. The irony of a city named Snowflake in Arizona.
Yep.
There's a few ski mountains up there. But right away, we know the state, we know the state road, and we know cities in opposite directions. So he probably has moved all he needs to move if he just spends the rest of the time scanning the map. He will go back just to read that sign a little bit more.
Yeah, although I feel like it's always hard to scan the map for two different things at the same time, as he finds Snowflake and Holbrook. So like looking for road numbers and town names at the same time is always something that I can't really do very well.
Here's a good example of no blurry at the start, but you click one road over and there's that potato camera. Can't read it. Got to go back to that better coverage and try to find that road name. See if he can do it or not. Doesn't appear like he can, so he's going to look for some distances. Maybe that'll help him. Here we go. Snowflake, 20 miles away. Yeah, we are in the US, so these are not kilometers. These are miles. So, good old America still hasn't switched yet. I think that is the correct road.
Might be, yeah. I mean, for me, yeah, it is. Yeah. For me, it doesn't really make a difference whether it's miles or kilometers. It's a number. I'm only working in relatives anyway.
Yeah, that is true. In GeoGuessr, it's more about proportions than it is the actual unit of measurement, because you can't look at something and say, oh, that's a kilometer away. It's 10 clicks compared to 2 clicks or something. It's about the best you can do. So
Yeah,
the
there's
proportions just help.
there's some people that have sort of measurements in their head. For example, if you know how far, I don't know, New York is away from Philadelphia, then you can look at that on the map and sort of drag the map along and then, measure the distance in other places. And, if you've got enough references like that, you can make use of that.
Yeah, I mean, he did have on that sign there 2 different towns. So he knew along this road, one town was 19 more miles away than one. So if he, on a certain zoom level, as long as you don't change the zoom level, he could have just used that to count a little bit, which is pretty nice. But no need to do that. The road pretty much helps out quite a bit. And again, 19 meters off. It's a little bit far away, but as we can see, Calamity, you got another ace here as well. Everybody else, I would assume, pretty close.
Yes, aces for everyone except Mwicom, who was quite a bit further south, still sort of southeast of Phoenix.
Maybe, did he use all of his time?
Yes, he used all of his time.
Maybe just unable to find the city in
Yeah,
decent time.
maybe just clicked past some of the signs.
Yeah, it's a thing that can happen if you don't look at the starting location and you just click as fast as you can, and all the signs are right there. Then he might have traveled for 2-3 minutes without seeing another sign, and realized that all he needed was at the very beginning. So that would have been unfortunate if that happened to him. Very nice. Well, let's jump right on to round number 3 with M. Wickholm. Yeah, we can see there 3,644 points. Let's see if he can't recover from that into round number 3. And, a very nice urban New England location. Gotta remember that some of you might not know what New England means. New England is part of the original colonies on the East Coast, kind of northeast. And we have an MA on the car, so that's Massachusetts.
I think it's at N. Andover before the MA.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
if that is
North Andover, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I don't really see that anywhere on the map.
Yeah, there's a Milton, Massachusetts as well. Plenty of street names. And Northwestern, that will give him a good clue if he knows anything. Very well-known university in the Boston area. And sure enough, a Boston tradition. There we go. That will confirm it. Very nice urban location. This is actually going to be it could be a bit more challenging because you have all the information, but you're searching through a kind of a needle in a haystack, so to speak. So many roads packed in. Finding the right names can make your eyes go a little bit wonky, but
definitely if you're in a location like that, and if you've got more than enough time like we do here, I definitely recommend going and finding a big street. And once you've got a big street, then you've got a reference point to which you can work back to. That just narrows it down so much that it's just most of the time quicker and definitely more secure than just searching for 1 or 2 very small roads somewhere in a major city.
Yeah, getting something like a neighborhood name or a major intersection or highway that's close by can help you definitely save time in scanning the map. And it appears he has got it. We do start in front of the Hilton there, so he appears to know where he is. And
probably now checking to see if he can find any side streets or the names there off. Because there might just be more than one Hilton in Boston. Who knows?
Well, yeah, there probably is, given the size of the city and whatnot. But that appears to be it. He does have those side streets correct. Now just pinpointing that starting location. Not bad. Again, he seems to have moved about a block or 2 in a couple of directions, but that's about it.
Yep.
Definitely enough to figure things out.
I'm pretty sure I didn't even notice we started in front of the Hilton until I saw it on the map.
and yeah, you too can have no ads and play unlimited maps with GeoGuessr Pro, only €2 a month.
If you have an ad blocker, you have to disable it to continue. Not true.
Oh no, not true. Okay. Oh,
No, not
sorry
true.
about that. We were too busy chatting about the ad, and we forgot to pause. How did everybody else do in that one?
Yep. 5Ks all around. I think there wasn't a single person. There's one guy here on the result sheet, but I think he's a reserve driver. I don't think there was a single active driver who didn't get a 5K there. A minute
even I did.
40. Yeah. Minute 46 for me, 4 minutes for closed, 3 minutes 34 for M the basement, and the other two aren't on for the perfect score anyway. So that time doesn't matter.
Closed really spending the time. He's at the top of the table, of course, so he's definitely fighting to keep that position. So he is really making sure that, forget the bonus points, just get that 25K and you'll hopefully guarantee yourself that top spot, so you won't lose enough points to your nearest competitors. So definitely visible in his time management there. Yeah,
I think after round 1 as well, he's probably not thinking that he's going to get the best time anymore anyway, after he used almost all of his 5 minutes there. So I think at this point he's definitely not going for fastest time anymore.
Okay, well, let's see how you do, Calamity, in this round, in round number 4, and another pretty open not deserty, kind of mountain location. This is more plains and Rocky Mountains than it is desert. This is highway. This is what the area I grew up looked like. Rolling sort of hills with mountains way in the distance. So there we go, Idaho 33.
Yep.
The GeoGuessr gods are nice today.
It helps out, certainly.
Yeah.
Now it's just about finding Idaho 33 somewhere. In Idaho, presumably.
Yep.
That
Luckily,
being said,
Idaho is not one of the biggest states, so...
Yeah, it's still pretty big. It's not Texas, I'll give you that.
I guess an American shouldn't say a state is big or small. My sense of proportion is probably way out of whack compared to most people in the international community of this game. So
yeah, but I think like there's like 4 or 5 states that you can say are really big, and then there's like maybe 5 to 10 that are really small, and everything else is just kind of the same size roughly.
Yeah, I think that would be about fair in terms of square mileage. So a few city names there for you, and a blurry road, and that's a very bad camera. Don't want to go on that.
Yep. So, typical. It's the exact same thing we saw in round 2, I think, as well, where if you go to a side street, no camera quality anymore.
Okay, and you have found that road.
Potentially, because there is
this is the tricky thing.
There's 2 roads here side by side. This one and the one I'm going to check on now, which have pretty much the same name. But I can see this is the other road that goes south off of the main road. And there's the creek. So that guarantees me that this is the right route that I've chosen.
Intersection, and with just over 2 minutes gone, I'm assuming you're going to click that guess button. Yep, you sure do. And another 5K from you there, 8 meters away. We can see a few people tricked right there on the screen, getting that wrong road, not checking against the river. That's definitely what got me on this one, and it seemed like got quite a few people as well. Yeah, well done, Calamity. Not too bad.
Thanks. Yeah, there were 5 people who guessed the wrong out of those 2 streets there. Lost 3 points that way.
As I point to myself. So
for example,
like, as did Berryfish Bear and Max FI, you can see 2 of them right there. Yep. So at least I was in good company. So how did their other drivers do on this one?
Yeah, Closed used all of his 5 minutes to end up on the wrong side of the creek. He went pretty much the second road on the west side of that river.
Just getting your direction wrong.
Yeah. 5 minutes used by everyone else we feature here as well. Mr. Blue, M the Basement, and Wickholm. And Wickham was the closest out of the other three. He was just a bit further west, about 15 kilometers, and losing about 100 points there. Mr. Blue even further west, losing about 200 points there with 35 kilometers. And the Baseman was all the way over in the east of Wyoming and getting only 2,300 points there. So loses his perfect streak as well, same as Closed.
Yeah, I wonder if that was just going the wrong direction.
Quite possibly,
or clicking past the sign, and there's only one sign, and you just click bested. I don't know. Like just like you, I barely moved, so I don't know if there's something further down the road you could use to pinpoint it, because I found everything so close. But if you click past it or something, then
you saw it in my video as well. I clicked past it initially, but I registered that there was something that I should look at, so I went back to look at it. And if I just hadn't noticed that, I probably would have gone past it as well. Yeah. So kind of a bit of a tricky round there when there is information, but only really maybe at the starting location, and moving too fast could definitely cost you a bit for there. Well, let's jump to Mr. Blue. Not the week he would have liked for his last week in Formula G. Pretty much title challenges slipping away from him here. But let's see how he can finish up in round number 5. And we get a very nice mountain vista to start off with. Again, near the Rocky Mountains, because it's the only mountains that big. Yep. So that narrows it down quite a lot to start with.
Well, if you're familiar with the United States, then yes.
As well, not something that I was particularly looking at during the game itself, but just judging based on the landscape, that it's very dry. So not a lot of trees and just a lot of shrubbery also, tells you that you can't really be anywhere up north in Washington or Oregon. So you're kind of already limited to the likes of like California or Nevada or Arizona anyway.
Yeah, somewhere along this more southern half of the Rocky Mountains is a decent guess. It's definitely not the high mountains of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, so like that. But yeah, so far it kind of looks like maybe in a suburb. Oh, there we go. He went right past it. He zoomed in on the other sign. Go back, Mr. Blue. There's a better sign right there. State Route 88, but what state? If you went back, you would see it. Oh no. Maybe he's gonna. There you go, Carson Valley. That'll help out. And there is another sign right there.
There's another one there, yeah.
Okay, US. There we go.
Yeah, come on. not Brazil.
There we go, Carson City. There we go. We're in a suburb. There we go. Granderville.
Yeah, that's the city it said on the green sign you looked at earlier.
So maybe he did see that first sign and he, registered it, moved right past, looked for something that was more pinpointable, having already picked up the state.
Maybe
one of those hard things. Yeah, I would love to have. You can get cameras, right? They can track eye movement, right?
Yep.
And they show where the person is looking on the screen. I would love to have that for one of these guys play GeoGuessr, because you could see what when they see what. Yeah.
If you pay for one, I'll use it.
Yeah. Buy it for myself before I buy it for you.
Well, but who wants to see where you're looking at?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I should send it to somebody like Mr. Blue or Simi. That's what we want to see. But that would be really interesting, because I bet his eyes caught that and then immediately jumped to the next one.
Yeah, that's something I usually, or maybe not usually, but occasionally do as well, is I'll just register something in at the side of the screen somewhere. And, sometimes if you register, that's enough. You don't really need to look at it for 5 seconds. You could spend those 5 seconds looking for something else.
Yeah, he does record commentary, so I might go back after we finish this and listen to his commentary at the point. He might have said, "Oh, there's the state," and that means it's a good clue he saw it. He's got road names as well, so he's moving to pinpointing with just under 2 minutes remaining.
There's the Calvary Chapel of Carson Valley, whatever Calvary means.
Calvary is the hill where Christ was crucified. So lots of churches in the United States have Calvary Nani. Oh, I started speaking Japanese. Calvary something something.
Yeah, okay.
As the name of the church. It's a very popular name. So.
Yeah, there's not really any side street here that's right where you spawn, so you gotta do a little bit more work here to figure out the exact place, judging by the houses that are around you, as well as probably the church on the map.
Yeah. And he already lost quite a few points. He will spend the time and make sure he gets as best as he can, and he does. He beats you out by looks like a matter of
1
centimeters
meter.
there almost. A full meter, okay. And gets that 5K to finish out. So a good, strong finish from him, but unfortunately it's probably not going to be enough in the end of the day. How did everybody else do? Calamity in that final round.
As you can see there, 5K for me, 2 minutes and 11, which puts me at 9 minutes 43 and gives me the bonus points for the quickest 25K. Meter distance-wise, I was in second, behind Orpheus. Closed, getting 5K there, 3 minutes 37. Mr. Blue, as we saw, 5K in 4 minutes 1. And M. The Basement, 5K in 3 minutes 22. And M. Wickholm was quite some distance away over in sort of the southeastern corner of Utah.
He must have missed that state sign.
Yeah, losing quite a few points there, but I think... yeah, it wasn't really relevant for him anymore anyway, since he needed you needed over 24,900 points to even get any points in the standings. At this point, it didn't really matter too much.
Yeah, it was a very, very competitive match. Not only this one, but the sprint race as well was pretty much 24-9 or nothing for everybody.
Yep.
In terms of points. I think the sprint race was even tighter, right? Almost the top 9 were 25K? Or?
Yeah, I was 9th, I think, and I got 25K.
Yeah.
So I think you needed 25K to get into points at all.
Yeah, so obviously the signs and whatnot, and very generous locations. We'll have to give the RNG a little bit of credit there. The US could definitely get a lot worse, and this was not the worst of it. This is actually some of the nicest US locations I think I've ever seen in a game. So I was very happy with myself for that. So yeah, well, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching the entire season of Formula G. If you haven't, go check out our race coverage show for the last week, and we'll break down who all won the different competitions, including the Constructor Challenge and whatnot. And you can congratulate the winners over there in the comment section. We're definitely going to be back with another season of this in the future, but already has started because we're a little bit late on this video. It's Reddit League, so you can look forward to a whole new different kind of competition with groups, kind of more about a football theme to it in terms of structure. So head over and watch those videos as well, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye.